So, we're once again here. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So, according to the schedule, that's right there, no, up there. I'm sure you know which one I mean. It's more trains today. So, because it's Tuesday. So, yes. Hello, if you're watching this live or archived, yes, as I've said. So, let me switch over to Trainz. This is already the right size. And let's get started. So, last time was very exciting. We started working on the double-track mainline, the one that has a speed limit of 55 miles per hour, as opposed to the mainly 35 of the previous track we've laid. Hello, Mr. W. Welcome. Also, I didn't know you could speak German, Mr. W, because H-A-L-L-O is German. German for hello. I know, very different word. Presumably hello? Yes. So, I need to move this camera up a little bit because I want to be able to see over into the fields over there. Something like that, maybe. Thought so. Yes. Right. One second, let me just reload the page. Right, now it's working. Where is everyone else, I wonder? Well, Slovak just finished streaming. He might be having a little bit of a break. And Kangofango is not here at the moment. Right, so how large should I make this field? I'm thinking maybe this large. So now if I grab, well, if I set the filter correctly and then grab some of the objects back here, just one of them, just a tree to mark the spot. Kind of like this, maybe, going up there. I think that should be good. What did you say you were doing this time? Oh, well, continuing work on the main line. So mainly, working on the field over here, getting the size right, and then working on the other side as well. And if there is time, I would also like to do this connection bit, which, well, you know, you can see what state it's in at the moment. Hello, DT Chani 11. Not sure how to pronounce it. Dit Chani 11. Hello. Welcome. Hey, you new? Asks Mr. W. Right, so yes, yeah. Ah, welcome. Welcome, yeah, I didn't recognize your name. Right, so I'll just give you a quick fly through. It'll only take about a minute or so. This is where we're building at the moment. Yes, very nice. Back here, this is the project we were working on before. This bridge, the nice wetland area. This is where I actually started building the route, and all of this has been built on stream, except for this one baseboard here, which I've built beforehand, but the rest's all built on stream. So I'm just gonna quickly fly through here. What are you planning to put in the field? Some of them I want to be agriculture. So just what's the English word for it? Actually, here there's a and don't worry, it won't be this laggy for you probably. It's just because of my computer at the moment. This goes up to the gravel pit. Yes, you can see. It doesn't continue any further at the moment, but it will do. And then we've just got one more thing to go along. Actually, I need to change the thing I need to disable or rather enable the limit contextual information thing. There we go. Much nicer. Right. Yep. So then it'll go up here, or it is already going up here. And this is very, very steep, very steep, but this goes to above 4% incline, goes through the tunnel, and there's a dam here, hydroelectric power plant. Yes, and this is the lake it created. Now, I haven't built anything beyond the lake yet. I instead started building on the other side of the route. So this is it, basically. This is the route so far. I seen your video on YouTube. It's just my first catching stream. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much for that. Yes. Right, to answer your question, put in the field. Some of them I will put in livestock, because I do want it to be realistic. Some other ones I will put crops. Right, so this was that tree, correct? Is this the same tree? No, it's a different one. Dam, a dam. Yeah, yes, exactly. Did you watch any of his other videos or just the Trainz ones? Be back in a bit. Okay. See you in a bit. Now, how does this shape look? I think this looks okay. The shape for the field. This one next. Just the Trainz one is a bit too high up. This is better. Back. Do you plan to watch any of Shadow's other vids? Asks Mr. W. Right, so I think I've just got one type of tree to place for this barrier, and then I'll have a look, see what it looks like. Right, I think it looks better like that, yeah. Because I did have one of these trees at the right at the edge where it meets the forest, but I don't want that edge to be that visible, so I undid that action. I think that looks good. I don't know, I have to take a look at them. Is it just me, or could I hear choir singing in the background of the stream just then? Oh, you mean, oh right, you must be talking about the orchestra I have upstairs. No, don't worry about them, they're fine, they're fine. And by that I mean they've been fined, because of, disturbance. I'd really recommend it, especially his game development videos. Oh, thanks. There it is again. An entire orchestra locked in the attic. Well, what do you have up there? Didn't you have a bat creature in there once? Yeah, I did. And, well, the orchestra didn't very much enjoy his company because he used to... Well, he wanted to play the trombone, but they wouldn't let him, so... Yeah, he moved out. Also, sorry to be pedant, but I didn't think a choir is part of an orchestra. Can be. Can be. Like, for example, the Doctor Who music, a lot of it, well, it is obviously orchestral music, but if you watch live performances, there is an orchestra there, obviously, and then there is also a choir there as part of the orchestra. Right, I'll paint some of the forest texture below it, below the boundary, to see what kind of an impact that makes. SW, I take a look at them at some point, says DT Chani 11. That's just, if you have a preferred way of that name being pronounced, please, by all means, make it clear to me. Right, so at the moment it doesn't look very great because it's only one texture and it's tiling a lot. If I twirl this texture like this, how does that change things? No, it just makes it a bit more obvious, really. Because this way, it's just a normal thing that you already accept, like that the texture is tiling. But if it's diagonal as well, like with a big brush, then it kind of stands out a bit more. I think I'd rather just put in some of these textures in there. Maybe that would help. Will help. Right. I'll also reduce the radius a bit and actually increase the scale. Right, so how does this look from track level? Well, I can confirm it looks like a field, which in real life may not be that interesting of a thing, but in here it's actually quite good. Yeah, I like this. And the thing is, with these kind of features, like when you're making a Trainz route or any other map in a program that allows that, like for example OMSI2 or OMSI1 for that matter, it's all well and good to make scenery that looks great, but you have to make it in such a way that it's going to be relatively easy to reproduce along a given stretch of track or road. And this field is quite easy to make. Like, it's just placing these various tree types along the boundary, maybe a bit of forest, copy paste at the back or somewhere, and then paint the other texture on, which is what you want. You want it to be economical. You don't want it to take ages for every field. That being said, I will add maybe some barbed wire fence or something along here. That might add a lot. So, how long you been working on your route? Well, if you go to my YouTube channel and you go to the first Trainz live stream episode, that is the beginning of the route. So you can see when I started doing that. Right. There's a playlist, by the way, for all the Trainz live streams, so it's just the first one in the playlist. Personally, I think normal wooden fence would work better. Barbed wire looks a bit intimidating. Yeah, but it's supposed to. And, I mean, this is also supposed to look like the USA, and I think that in the USA, barbed wire fences are used more commonly as boundaries to fields or pastures, rather than wooden fences. Isn't it like 2 months ago? I think it's longer than that. Yeah, true. Right, so if I search for wire, let's see what we have. Oh, right, catenary wire. Oh, no, this is a... Oh, there's a power supply. I don't know if you can see that on stream, but it's a bunch of power line wires. Yeah, you can see them just about. Not what I want. Right. But if you do look at up how long I've been working on this route, I haven't done any off-stream work on this route. So it's literally just the 2 hours per stream, which is also diluted with chat. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Chat. Right, so this kind of thing is what I'm looking for. So this is just barbed wire fence 1. This one is, well, I'll put a few of them next to each other, and then I can choose one. This one's not the one I want. Different kind of wire, yeah. Wouldn't integrated be a better word? For what? A better word for what? Integrated with chat. Integrated with chat. Integrated. I don't think so. I chose diluted because if chat wasn't here, then me working on the route, it would be concentrated. I would only be thinking about that and dealing with that. But the route building aspect of the live streams has been diluted, also made thinner, so to say, because of the chat, or with the chat. It's less concentrated, less focused, which is okay because the chat makes this a whole lot more fun, but it also makes it take longer. Right, so this is a fence barbed wire USA, this one, which is kind of similar to the other one. We'll see. Oh yeah, I remember learning that in biology. Root building is weakened via osmosis. Well, I'm glad you learned some valuable stuff in school. Right, so I think one of these barbed wire fences should be fine. So, ideally, I mean, this one in the middle I think looks the best, but if you're over here and you're driving by, then I'm not sure that that one will stand out the best. Although I don't think it maybe should stand out that well. So yes, I'm choosing the one in the middle. Chances of me using it are very slim, but I needed it for the exams. Yeah. I get that. I understand that. Right, so is that visible from the tracks? And bear in mind, I am running this at a bit of a lower resolution at the moment. I'm running it at 1920 by 1080, which isn't the full. I think it's 1920 by 1080. It might be 1280 720. Anyway, yeah, I think that's fine. Now I just need a gate here. I think this one should be good. Or if this gate is a bit too British or European, please let me know if you have a better asset I can use, or if you know one. And by the way, I'm only using assets that are either from the DLS or built in with TRS-19. No third party, no payware. I think that looks good. Right, so I think I'll keep this field empty and then maybe put some crops or things in other fields around here. So actually, speaking of that, how should I, because I'm just thinking about the arrangement of the fields, because on the one hand, I could make the field boundaries just continue in a straight line, so that the field on the opposite side of the tracks would start right here and continue straight on over there, which would make some amount of sense if it's like grid-based in a way, so that the field boundary would just continue along down here. But I'm not sure if it might not be more interesting to have the field boundary kind of come out in the middle, so that when the player's driving along, there are going to be more interesting things being revealed. So for example, now there'd be a field boundary on the left, and then we'd have one on the right, and then we'd have another one on the left, and things like that. Maybe I'll do both. For the beginning, I've decided to keep it in line. Personally, I don't think you should leave the field empty, because with a field like that, what's the point of a field if there's nothing in it? Well, this can be a pasture that's not being used at the moment. Actually, before I do this, I need to put the grass and things on the other side. Foiled again! Wait, if you were foiled, doesn't that imply that you had a plan? Did you have a plan? Right, so we've got this kind of shrub. Now I'll put down this one, which is a bit bigger. And save. Oh, am I on the right layer? Yes, I am. Good. That's the thing you should check. Maybe, maybe not. Well, only time will tell. Or you, unless you do decide to tell me. Whichever comes first. Or I guess that if you did tell me, then you would have to do it in time, so time does kind of tell in that case. Right, so next I'm going to place these lighter shrubs. These TB assets are really, really good. So I'm thinking maybe we could have, well, definitely a field in here, but I'm thinking maybe this could be, I'm thinking whether this should be crops or pasture. Because on the one hand, crops might look good, because that might accentuate the shape of the field a bit more. On the other hand, having some cattle or sheep or something, maybe cattle, it's kind of in this corner, might look realistic. Anyway, I'll decide on that later. Also, yes, how is everybody? Yes, that means you. Have you had a nice trip, if you went anywhere? Quite good, thanks very much. And you? Yes, me too. I've finally uploaded the, hopefully, final version of the Scar Hills subdivision route, which is a freeware route that I made a while ago. I've uploaded it to the DLS. There is a version on there that is that has bugs in it, because I made the route in Trainz A New Era, which is the previous version of Trainz, and there it had listed some assets as built-in, which were actually from payware routes that came with Trainz A New Era. When I installed TRS-19, so this one, I downloaded everything that it prompted me to, all the assets, which included the Trainz A New Era asset packs, which basically means that I have all of the routes that came with Trainz A New Era automatically installed in the next version, so in TRS-19. That also meant that I have the assets available to me, but in TRS-19 they don't show up as payware, they don't show up as built-in, but rather payware, which meant that when I imported my route into TRS-19 from Trainz A New Era, everything seemed like it worked for me because I had those assets. But only people who own, or rather owned, Trainz A New Era before TRS-19 would have access to those assets. Either that or they bought the DLC routes they came from, which obviously isn't ideal because I want all players of TRS-19 and Tain to be able to play that route, which means that, well, I actually only realized that after the first version of the route was uploaded. I realized because one of the people on my Discord server downloaded it, wanted to play on it, and found that it had missing assets for him. So yeah, so the version on the DLS that's on there right now, if you're watching this live, is not the version that's been fixed, but if you watch this in a few days, like maybe even tomorrow, then the correct version should be uploaded there, should be on there. Yes, so I had lots of issues with that. including a bridge that for some reason was broken in one place and some others not, and then I replaced it, but that got rid of a track marker I needed for a session, and then all sorts of other issues. But I won't bore you with those, unless you want me to tell you. But suffice it to say that I believe that everything is fixed now. It works for me. I've tested all of the sessions here for me on my machine. They all work. It has also got a multiplayer session, which is nice. So yes. I also started implementing the ranked session rules for the Coleman Mountains route, which is one that I will hopefully be able to upload as payware as soon as I have access to the Trainz Content Creator Program 2. And that is going reasonably well. There are still some things I need to figure out with that. Namely, if the score you get in a session only shows up in the main menu if the session is available on the download station. Because if that is the case, then it's fine. If that's not the case, then I've got a problem. Yes. So, does that answer your question, Mr. W? And save. XD. Yeah, I don't take that question lightly usually. If I've got time, then I do try to answer that question as genuinely as I'm comfortable with. Oh, hello Chris. Hi. Yes, glad you could join. Somewhere there, the question was about how long Sharedice has been working on the track. Without today, 75 hours, 45 minutes, and 44 seconds. Wow. There you go then. That is probably the answer. I haven't checked, but yeah, if that is... I mean, it sounds true. Hey! Oh, whoa. Well, you're dedicated, I'll give you that, says Mr. W. Do you think he used the atomic clock? Well, indirectly, yes, because electronic clocks that are synchronized either wirelessly or via Ethernet all link back to the atomic clock, which is I believe a quartz crystal that vibrates, and that those vibrations have a very specific frequency, which is how we get those precise measurements. I think that's the case. Oh, U20Z! Oh, hello! Haven't seen you in quite a while live. Welcome back. How are you? Oh, whoa is a facial expression, kind of like the surprised ooh woo. So an oh, whoa is surprised oh, whoa. Okay, a surprised ooh woo rather. Yes, very, very clear. Hey, yes. Right, I do realize I still need to place the trees on this bit. I haven't forgotten, don't worry. I just wanted to paint it first. Actually, I can increase the radius a bit. I just wanted to paint it first to get a better feeling for what it will look like when it's finished. Right. Now on to placing those trees I mentioned, which are these ones. Hi, hello, Slavical. Sorry for being late. Oh no, that's fine. You genuinely don't have to apologize. I mean, at least of all to me, since I was late to your streams quite often. So it's fine. You don't have to worry about it. Hey, Slav. Had some things to tend. Yeah? Mr. W, I was a bit lazy. The calculation itself was performed by Excel. Ah, I see. So you did use the atomic clock. The atomic clock? That just sounds like such a 50s thing. Like where you've got ray guns and atomic clocks and things like that, doesn't it? Is that too tall? I think that should be okay. XD, yeah. Right. I need to make it a bit denser over here. So how does it look from the side? Sounds very sci-fi, yeah. Yes. Actually a little bit more shrubbery here. Maybe not this tall. Maybe if I move it down a bit and then turn it. I think that's good. Yeah, I really like how this is turning out. Although I do think I need a bit more grass. I'm actually going to use the narrower spline that I have over here. Looks so pretty! Oh, thank you, it means a lot. Where did I place it? I've misplaced my spline. Nope, not here. When is the route set again? Sort of 50s, 60s, kind of around there. USA. Looks awesome. Grass/grid. Well, thanks, Swidar, and hello, Swidar. What do you mean by that, Mr. W? Can't believe I've had to go all the way back here to grab the spline. Shadows, thankfully you haven't misplaced your spleen. Oh, spleen. Yeah, I haven't misplaced my spleen. Gang's all here aside from Kango. Yeah, it's nice. Shadows, there was mostly grass and then a patch of grid. Yes. Yes. XD, sounds like you're saying it's nice without Kango. Might sound like that, but that's not what I'm saying. I think I need just a little bit more grass up here. Not much, just enough so that the edge isn't that visible. Right, so that looks almost great. Just a bit more there. Not that close, just like that. Yeah, that looks good. Right, so now I want to quickly drive this little bit again, just because I want to get an idea for how tall the trees are either side, so if they're going to be in the way of the camera if you're driving in a third person like this or in the cab. So here we go. Six people watching. Hello, 6 people. Yes. And that's live, yes. That billboard here, I mean, that just adds so much, don't you think? Because a billboard means there is actual commerce, actual companies that want to advertise things. It makes it so much more real, I think. And yes, I know the junction switched against the train, but it's fine, because apparently it's a spring-loaded junction. Is it spring-loaded? Yeah, spring-loaded junction. Basically, it's a junction that can be entered from both ways without the train derailing, because there are springs that push the junction back into place after each wheel has passed. Oh, right, since you're here, people who are playing Trainz are here, I have a question for you. When you make a session, and you make it as a ranked session, then if you complete that session, and it's not uploaded on the DLS, you've just made it, you're testing it, you complete it, you get a certain high score, certain amount of stars, then do those stars show up in the Trainz session selection menu and the high score, or does the session have to be uploaded to the DLS before that will show up? Hey, Shredder's random question. Have you heard of Darkwood? Do you mean the top-down dark fairy tale game? Because if so, then no, I haven't. Deja vu, you asked that question on Eagle Stream. I did. I thought that maybe somebody who's watching this might know. Or somebody who's watching the archive. Yes! Alright, before that, Sweater Gaming took you a while. Your stream might be delayed. Well, the chat wouldn't be still. Yes. There, well, I guess I did hear of that game, then. Oops, need to have my lights on, yes. For better visibility. Of the train, not of the environment. Yeah, the chat is fine. Good. We're about to clear the bridge limits. Which means we'll be able to accelerate to 35 miles an hour again. And then, well, then we'll notch 8 it. The ranking is bugged anyways, but it should show even your sessions. There is no way I could have gathered 19 stars without playing any other sessions than mine. I see. Shadows, I knew that you don't like how jump scares are used as a cushion in horror games, so I thought I'll tell you about a game that's been called the best horror game without any jump scares. Oh yeah, that's very interesting. Are there gonna be fields or something? You mean here, in this area? Actually I think the grid kind of fits the area. It kind of emphasizes the industrialism and modernization of America in the 60s. So I think I'm actually going to leave that there. There's already at least one. Yes. Okay, here we go. Going into the new bit. I know I'm speeding. Actually, I should brake a bit. So, yes. The new bit. Okay, so how does this look from here? Ah, yes. I'm glad you agree. The industrialization of the grid. I think this is fine. Right, so now let's check the camera. See if the height of that fits. And then I'll continue. Need to lower it a bit more. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Yes, so here we continue. I think the size of the field is also good. It's definitely not small, but it's also not too big, I'd say. At least not for Slovakia. I mean, America. If you watch last stream, you'll get that. Actually, let's watch the train drive by. I'm so glad I don't have the debug feature. Oh, I do have the debug features on. I must have accidentally pressed control. Okay, there we go. I can't anymore because otherwise the locomotive would have derailed. So, I'll quickly rechat and then I'll get straight into building. However, I looked at the rank right now. I have apparently 0 stars, lol. Well, it is bugged a lot since nobody really pays attention to it. But generally, ranking points are nice to have and are not hard to script. You won't know the score by the end of the session anyways. Okay. It's good to have to give the players good feel. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. America? Yes. Sloverica. Oh god, no. Oh god, yeah, yes. Sounds kinda like an anime character. Sloverica-chan. Does. No. I think it does. Right, next field. Actually, before I do the next field, I need to figure out how the terrain is going to look, because you can see there is a bit of a hill here, and I would kind of like this to continue on for at least a little while, at least up until the corner of the baseboard there, which I should probably do first before I figure out where I want the field boundaries to go. Yes, xdd, niet. Yes. Google's positive of niet. So you mean just yes. I knew it. I knew what the word was, Russian for yes, but I've forgotten it. Isn't it da? Isn't it da? Or do? Da? Might be da. Nope, can't find it. Yes, it is shared ice. Which one? Da or do? I think da. Yes, it is. Da. Yes, I remembered something. I remembered it. Da. Yes. Which is funny because in German, da means there. So, for example, there is a locomotive. You would say, da ist eine Dampflokomotive. No, just locomotive. Da ist eine Lokomotive. So, da as in there. Also in Croatian. Oh, interesting. Did not know that. Woohoo! Yeah, great. But what if, and we all know what Mist is in German. Yes, we all know that. But what if it wasn't? It wasn't. It would be nice if you could see who is typing in chat on Twitch as well. Like you can do on Discord, because then you can see you're waiting on. Ich kann dir nur empfehlen, da zu sitzen. Nein, ich kann not sitzen. Ich kann dir nur empfehlen, da zu sein, da kein da ist. Interesting. So, I can only recommend you to be there because there is no there. Very interesting question. What do you think the answer is? And WhatsApp. Yeah. Could you translate that, please? I did. I just did. Oh, right. So it's, I can only recommend to be there because there is no there. There. Right, I think I need to make this hill a bit bigger. Just a bit. I don't want it to be too big because this isn't supposed to be mountainous yet. Where is there? Well, he didn't specify. Just there. Isn't it funny how "niet" is so much more famous of a Russian word than "da" is? But then again, in German, that's the case as well. The German word for "no" is much more famous for certain reasons than the German word for yes. Or even German "jein." Ah, yes, indeed. The seldom heard, but very common yes and no of the German language. Which, if you don't know, in German, no is nein and yes is ja. So if you're not entirely sure about if you want to answer something with yes or with no, or maybe kind of both in parts, then you can say jein, so to mean both. For example, if someone asks you, have you had a nice day? Then it could be that you have had a nice day because the sun was out and you had enjoyed a nice walk in a forest, for example. But in the ride home, if you took the bus or something, there was a drunkard there who was constantly cursing to himself and stank of alcohol. So in that respect, it wasn't a nice day, but the other part was nice, so it's both yes and no, so you might answer with jein, which is an interesting word. By the way, how do you like my example? Let me save. And by that I don't mean that I don't want you to stop me from saving, even though that is definitely something I want, but that you should accept the temporary pause in building that was caused by saving. It's a jein example. Ah, yes. I get it, yes. I think that's sort of a good shape. There's just something so beautiful about a distant forest. Because this way it looks like there could be so many magical things in that forest. It looks so mysterious, and then when you get closer and closer and closer, until you're finally at the line, and then, well, in Trainz you realize, oh, it's just a bunch of trees without shadows. But that are copy-pasted, but I think it does look good. It looks good. In my opinion, it looks a bit too blank and light for that. You mean the forest? Or the fields before it? Aye. Well, to me this kind of looks a bit like the Alaskan wilderness, and yes, you're right, back here it is a bit light in there, but when I paint the forest texture on it, then it will not look as light. Also, if shadows work for you properly, then it should look good. It should look good. Both, really. Yeah, well, the fields aren't finished, and neither is the forest. Actually, I should probably paste the texture here, would be quicker. Right. Also, here's an interesting thing. If you click and hold, you can see that it actually moves the selection, like where it pastes it. Did you know about this? Because I actually learned this like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I've been using Trainz for such a long time and never known that it does that. I mean, it even does that with the other things, like this, for example. You can see it moves the terrain and the objects. Known about it for ages. Yeah, I thought you might have. I thought you might have. Yeah, that looks good. Because since the main line is mainly going to be down here, I'm not sure if I'll continue the main line up here. Maybe I'll have some industry over here, like maybe a farm, a grain loader or something like that, and then I'll have the main line continue on for a bit to portals or something like that. But since most of the main line is traffic is going to come from over here, and probably going to go into the mountains, I want to slowly bring in the forest. So like this, it's very flat, very open. You can see the forest over there, and then as you go along here, I want you to get closer and closer and closer. And then over the bridge, over the river, and then you're still really close. It's still very open, and then you're bordering it, and then you go into the valley, into the forest, which I kind of like, because that kind of makes it feel less, like less of a hard-edged transition. Kind of makes it feel a bit more organic. I gotta go now. Toodles, peeps. Toodles to you too, Mr. W. Bye. Okay, that's good. So, road access. What about road access? If I'm having fields on this side, then there has to be some sort of road access. dirt road is fine. So I'll probably have a dirt road going along this side of the tracks. TTFN, Mr. W. Okay. Not sure what that stands for, actually. So if I have like a dirt... Oops. If I have a dirt road that's like going alongside this side of the fields for access to the other fields, that is going to be good. Kind of like this. And then maybe ta-ta. Oh right, ta-ta for now. Thank you very much. So then I need some sort of crossing. I could have it go up and then down. So kind of like this. But it's a bit steep for that. Maybe a bridge would be better suited here. Or underpass, sorry. Or overpass for the tracks, I guess. Anyways, I don't think I want to have the road go this far. I think I want the road to kind of go to the field that starts over here, or the grassland area. And I want to have, I do want to have a border, a field boundary here. I want to have one there, not staggered. I want to have one here, because I do really enjoy how open this is. It just reminds me of Alaska or something like that, which I think is really good. So if I start the field, actually how far back? Okay, that goes that far back. So if this goes to roughly here, and then maybe along here, then perhaps I can start or have another field that starts around here. And I might need to put some sort of water over here, some very shallow water in some bits to indicate that this is kind of a flood area, which is why it's not being used for agriculture. Or does keeping animals on pastures count as agriculture? Or is that what is that called? Right, so I've placed, what did I place? Well, which one is this? 18 meters, which I think is this one, yes. So next is this one. Then is this one. I think just 3 more to go. Right, so this one next. Save. Borders for fields. What do you mean? I was asking whether, because I know that fields, so when things are planted on a field, it's part of agriculture. But is keeping animals in pastures, like cattle for example, also part of agriculture? That was my question. Right. Looks okay, but it will look better once I put the other trees in. So I'll do this type next. I think so. You're probably right. You're probably right, Swida. Swida, do you remember when you first joined a stream, when I had trouble figuring out how to pronounce your name, and then I got it right, and you said I got it right, but then I thought I got it right the other way? That was funny. If you're using them for something. Oh, I see, like milk and stuff like that. I see. That makes sense. If you are just keeping animals, I guess it ain't. Yeah. So, not sure if this part looks good. It might look better if there's just a fence going around this bit. Although, no, I'll put in, this one I want to be a field that has crops or something on it, which means that it might look different. I think the trees fit nicely. Yes, I think so too, but I kind of liked the openness of the area, but then you do get this over here. I'll keep them for now. Maybe I'll get rid of them later. We'll see. Actually, I think this one fits quite well here. Very nice. Very nice, I see. Some bushes in between them, maybe a barbed wire fence. Yes, I do have bushes that I am going to place in between them. The FMA, I think they're FMA shrubs or bushes. But yes, good shout. And yes, I do remember. Right. Actually, I think I'll put this dirt road a bit closer to the embankment, because if you had this plot, then you wouldn't really want to waste that much space, because you put the road a bit further to the left. So something like that. Also, by the way, last stream when I was talking about sugar, I thought that I said sugar cane. Someone thought that I said sugar beets. I think I definitely said sugar beets, but I think that someone else started with that. I think I said sugar, maybe I said only sugar or sugar cane, something like that. Something like that. I think I said sugar cane, but the first time, and then somebody said sugar beets, and then I started saying sugar beets as well. But no, I meant sugar cane. Sugar canes? Yes. Not here, not this. I meant as a resource on this map. Probably a bit further down that way. If you want sugar canes, you need to base this route in southern USA. Yeah, I thought of that too. But although I did say sort of Pennsylvania area, that is what the mountains were inspired by. But I might move it further south. But the thing is, further south, it's really quite flat mostly, if I remember correctly. Might not have these mountains, so maybe I'll just make it a bit fictionalized. So there is an area that is this mountainous and has sugarcane growing on it. Or time travel. Ah, I see. The most cunning of tricks when your Trainz map does not fit. As sugarcane grows in tropics mostly. Yes, you are right. You are absolutely right. Right, so I like it. I like it. I do need a gate. And some dirt underneath it. Underneath the road, I mean. Right. Also a little bit of barbed wire fence, just so that the gate isn't standing on its own. Oh, by the way, I found a really interesting locomotive. I wanted to show you. I'm not sure if it's... no, it's not that one. One second, let me just find it really quickly. Oh, where is it? Nope, that's not it. Actually, no, wrong date. Must have been the 17th, surely. Let's see. Was it these? No. Won't take very long. This one. Here. This is... Look at this locomotive. I mean, it looks so retro, like with this little bit of streamlining in the front, but then it's got like this side skirt, like this, which gets narrower. It gets tapered further backwards. It looks like Mallard, like the A4 Pacifics, with the with the side skirt, and yeah, I mean this locomotive, I think it's just so weird and, and beautiful as well. By the way, it's called the Bangor and Aru stock, so O stock BL2. Wow, that is such an interesting looking loco. Yeah, it is. I'm not entirely sure where it's from. I think the USA. But it doesn't matter. I want to use this locomotive on this route. So hopefully I'll get a chance to. Yeah. Yes. Right. I think maybe a little bit more grass besides the... Oh, actually no, I'll do the painting first. Yes. Wrong texture. There we go. The Bangor and Aroostook Railroad, reporting mark BAR, or a bar. That bodes well for the company, for their safety regulations. Like, if their reporting mark is bar, was a United States railroad company that brought rail service to Aroostook County in northern Maine. Brightly painted bar boxcars attracted national attention in the 1950s. First generation diesel locomotives operated on bar until they were museum pieces. That is very, very interesting, and it means that I can use it without having to come up with some explanation as to why that locomotive is running on these rails. Yes, this isn't Maine, but sure, they could have bought it. Thank you very much for posting that, Swadar. That was very, very helpful. This might look a bit too uniform. I think it's... no, it's too uniform. I need to change this a bit. Except that you stole them from the museum. I fully intend to return them once I'm finished with them. So it's borrowing. Not stealing, borrowing. XD. Yeah. Right, and then just a little bit more of the, actually, of the tall grass texture, yes. I'm sparing no expense. Ah yes, the age-old borrowing conundrum. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Yeah, I thought you meant conundrum. Right, so how does this look? Not entirely happy with it. Maybe a little bit more grass in some places. Like this. I know I'm taking quite a long time on this one field, but the way I do this now will impact the way I'm going to do it in the future. What do you think? Do you think this little grass spline bit over here between the road and the field looks good? Do you think it looks good? Because I think it draws a bit too much attention to this little area, and the fields should really stay not in that much attention. Although if you're seeing it from the tracks, it adds just a little bit more detail. Because you're not going to see it from this far up, mostly. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to leave it, wait for your response. And then I'll see. Right, that is too much. Actually, I have a different texture for that, I've just remembered. Maybe lower down? You mean the grass? Could try that. That might be a good solution. I have this texture I've used here, which might look good. Yes, the grass lines. Yeah, I'll try that. I will try that. Right, because because this is supposed to be a bit muddy, so it kind of makes sense that it's a bit of a darker texture there. Right, so luckily there is a set height tool in this. And I'll save. maybe like this. So that is negative 0.57, no, 59, yes, 59 meters below the ground. There we go. Might be a little bit too low now. I'll try it with negative 0.5, which is just gonna well, maybe negative 0.4. So it's just gonna bring it up a little bit more. So it's just a little bit more visible from the tracks. Clicking intensifies. Yes. Actually, hold on. There we go. I think that's probably enough of that. Oh no! ASMR! No, don't fall asleep. Okay, well, if you're gonna fall asleep, then at least let the stream open so that it counts you as watching the thing. Or if you're watching the archive, please let the yeah. Now, I'd really have to drive through this to get an idea, but I think this is close enough. And yes, I think that looks good. I'm happy with this. Thank you very much for your suggestions, sweetheart. I am happy with how it looks now. It does mean that I will have to do this process for all of the fields that have this kind of design, but that's not very lengthy. Right, so forest texture. A tiny bit larger, like that. By the way, Slovak, have you managed to upload the TGV session you made, the scenario you made in Train Simulator? Have you managed to upload it yet? Because I would really like to play that on stream on Thursday, because if you didn't know, or if you didn't see the new schedule, on Thursdays, from 8 to 9 is going to be Train Simulator, and from 9 to 11, actually no. Wait, is that true? Is that true? Yes, I think that's true, yes. Of course, yeah, it is, because it's the weekend right after. I thought because of Mr. W, who may not have been able to stay otherwise, but it's the weekend after that, so that should be fine. Yes, so 8 to 9 is going to be Train Simulator, driving around, and then from 9 to 10 is Roller Coaster Tycoon as usual. Ah, yes. Not sure what you mean about that. Ah, yes. You mean the schedule? The new schedule? Probably mean the new schedule. And yes, I do call it schedule and not schedule, because schedule is the British pronunciation of the word, and schedule is the American. So 2 hours of Share Ice? Yes, 2 hours. I mean, I could call it a day here, and just make this the thumbnail and let that be that. No, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'll continue. Right. What is next thing? Next thing. No! Gotta add a locomotive. Right. You're right. So, this huge open area. I think I should probably do the little water bits here first that I want to put in. Right, so if I maybe just put in negative 0.5, like what kind of result would that give me? Oh yeah, right, because the water in TRS-19 is floating. It's not actually on the height that you set it to. It's actually a bit different. I think something like this. Obviously not just these little puddles, but actually no, that is flickering. So how about -1? So -1 meter. -1 meter I meant. Actually, no, this should be fine. Not sure if this will end up looking good or not. Lake? Oh, so sort of a swampy area. Yeah, because I wanted this to be an open area. And I think that it looks good to have a little bit of water there. Both as, because it's visually pleasing, I find. But also because it explains why they haven't used this area for agriculture. Because it's just too wet. From up here, it doesn't look great, I think. At least not with these textures. But from the track height, I think it does, actually. Well, of course, with different textures, and maybe I'll connect some of these smaller things, puddles, I guess you can call them, to create kind of some islands. Oh right, I know why it's not looking that great. I need kind of forking paths because it would still lay in the grooves and valleys that are in the terrain. So if I add some kind of little forks like that, that might make it look a bit better. Although I don't want too much water, which I know we're probably approaching right now. Maybe we've already passed. I might take some of this water back. We'll see. This little bit is a bit too boxy. And by that I mean too box-shaped, not that it likes to hit you in the face a bit too much. Right, now I'm just going to go in with a bit of a smaller brush. I know, I sound like I'm using oil colors to paint a painting or something like that. So I'm just going to go in with a bit of a smaller brush and change the shape of some of these water puddles here to fit a more nuanced, organic feeling. Might be a bit too much water. Yeah, you're right. It might be, which is why I'm removing a bit of it. Maybe only the small brush size. Yeah, I do want to... Yeah. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just basically making the shores... I'm reducing the amount of water, while simultaneously making the shores look a little less... smooth. Oh, I see. I'm on a delay of about 30 seconds. Yeah, that's fine. So am I mostly when I'm watching other people's streams. And by that I mean mostly Slovak Eagle streams. I know, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. We're not at shout-out time yet. Imagine if I accidentally draw the artery system of the human body. I mean, it's just like, oh, this is a nice swamp area. And then I go to the map, and it's just a realistic rendering of a human artery system. Shout out time! I shout out Shattered Ice! Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Right, I think... something. I think I need a little bit more water. Hold on, I know what you're gonna say, but a little bit more water just over here, just a bit closer to the tracks, just a little bit, so that it kind of more naturally follows the shape that the tracks put here. So, yeah, just that little bit here. That little bit. That can be the liver or lung, I don't know. Right. I think that's nice. A bit difficult to see at the moment. It will be easy to see when I have different texture on there. Speaking of which, it's time to fill in this baseboard. Yes, this one. I leave the other ones as they are because I might need to do some well, definitely will need to do some terraforming over here with the river, but over here I might put some in some small hills or things like that, which it's easier to do if you've got the grid, because, well, it's easier to see the three-dimensional representation, well, the two-dimensional representation of three-dimensional space on a three-dimensional object. Yes. So, let's see what just the normal long grass texture would look like here, maybe with a bigger brush size. Something like this, maybe. Yeah, that looks much better. Might also put some of that sandy, muddy texture that I use in the river, maybe on some little places on this. Although, Slovak Eagle and Swadar, about the sugarcane thing, the thing is, the mountains are actually up here in the north, and then the route does actually go further down south. So if this is like Pennsylvania up here, and then I maybe make the sugarcane farm sort of down here, then I think that could be for further down south enough to be like maybe Florida or something. Yes, I know I'd need to go further this way as well. So maybe if I put it down here, I think that should be far enough south. Surely it can't be that far between states. Sugarcane time! Not yet, I'll build it later. I know what you mean because I'm talking about it, but yes, I'll build it later. And yes, I'm deliberately not using a bigger brush, because if you're using a bigger brush and you twirl the texture, then the texture still repeats a lot. Whereas if you use a smaller brush, then it kind of blurs it together a bit better, because it's not stamping on a huge tiling area each time. Sugarcane, sugarcane, sugarcane. Missed the time. According to Wiki, sugarcane is only in Louisiana. Oh, interesting. That is really interesting. That may be the case. The thing is, do you mean naturally grows or is farmed? Because I saw a video by Distant Signal, which actually inspired me to put sugarcane on this farm, on this map I meant, which is I think it's the latest one, where the US sugar company restored an old steamer over a course of 3 years, and it was finally finished in, I think, October or September this year, and they let it pull the first commercial load of sugarcane. And I think that Distant Signal lives in Florida. I forget what his actual name is, but the guy who runs it. Maybe he drove to Louisiana. But do you mean, according to Wiki, do you mean that it's only farmed there or only grows there? Farm, let me see. Isn't there a tiny little speck on the Florida peninsula there as well? Like near the bottom? Just a tiny little speck there. Thanks for the link, but I think there is a tiny little speck in Florida. Like near the nose of the peninsula. Like, if you zoom in, you might be able to see it. Either that, or there was a tiny, tiny spider on my screen just there. Or I just didn't look at it right. In Florida, yes, there is one on Zoom 200%. Yes, that must be what I was seeing. I mean, that is a retina screen over there, and I have pretty good eyesight, so that's probably why I did spot that little pixel. But yeah, you're right, it is mostly in Louisiana on that map. But anyway, it doesn't really matter that much because this map is fictional, so I'm gonna put it wherever I like. I would like it to make some amount of sense, but it's very rare that I say this, but in the case of the Trainz map, if for the good of the layout, I have to sacrifice some amount of sense to do it. Like, for example, having these mountains right by where sugarcane is farmed, then I will do that. I think I need a bit more of the normal grass. Right, should almost be done with this part. I do need a little bit more of this underwater. Oh right, this bit. I completely forgot about this bit. Still need to quickly do this bit. Looks beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. Right. So, yes. Yes, the darker grass texture has definitely done its job, which is to highlight the water. Because you can see, I mean, if you compare it to what it looked like before and what it looks like now, before you could barely even see the water, but now, I mean, I don't know what it's like on stream with stream compression, but now, at least here in real life, I can definitely see that there is water here. Right, I also need just a little bit of this texture, the little bit of a yellowy one, just a little bit around this area, just so that this doesn't look as boring, basically. Nice, thank you. Right, so I can also paint over the trackbed, that's the word, trackbed a bit, because I haven't painted it yet. Maybe a few single trees and bushes, like Auwald. Yeah, that might look good. When I was making this, I kind of had the Everglades in mind. Not that this is anything near the scale of the Everglades. I mean, there is mountains back there. Auwald riparian forest. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm not sure. Haven't used that word in quite a while. But yeah, might look good. I'll try it. Not sure if that's better. I don't think so. I think it's better like this because I was talking about the little yellow splotches of texture there. I think it's better without them because that bright texture reduces the contrast a bit, which means I actually need to undo this one as well and the ones over here. So like this. Yes, that is much better. Right, so actually, right, let's try placing some trees. Okay, here we go. It worked! I succeeded! I tried to place some trees, and I did. Great! So, let's call it a day. The route's finished. I managed to place some trees, that's fine. Oh, they're not in the right place. Oh, I see. Right. Actually, would these trees... These strike me as trees that would be a bit more... not necessarily near water that much. Maybe some of these. Nice! Awesome job, lol. Oh, thank you. Maybe, but these trees are a bit too dark, I think. Although, I'll actually, I'll try these shrubs. We'll place some of these around here. No, these shrubs don't look good. Okay, I'll place the cattails first, because of course I need cattails here. I mean, look at it, it's a swamp. I need to have cattails here. Then I'll try to add some more trees. Maybe add random scenery? You mean this option? Maybe. You know, I played around with this tool when I first found it, but I never really actually used it for anything. It's such a... I mean, it's a nice tool to have if you need it, but I think that it's so rare that you actually do use it, unless... I mean, how often have you actually used the... random scenery tool? And by the way, that goes for all of you who are watching. Okay, begin. Like that, maybe? Huh. It might actually... This might actually be a situation where the random scenery tool is useful. Not gonna have it here at the moment, though. Actually, wait, can you... I found a bug in Trainz. You can't undo the things that you place via random scenery. You can't undo the things. Oh, but it thinks you can. Oh, that is strange. Yeah. No, you can't undo them. That is... Oh, right, I'm on the wrong tool, I guess. For now, twice, or maybe thrice. I did get to use it a lot, though. Ah, I see. In what map, if you don't mind me asking? I will remove these for the time being. Just because I want to add the cattails first. Didn't. Oh, I didn't get... Oh, right, not I did. Didn't. Yes, of course. I was looking at the time because we've only got 9 minutes left. Which, if you pay close attention to the percentage of times I get what people type in chat wrong, and compare that to the time that we're at in the stream, how much of the stream is left, I think you'll find a strong correlation between the two. Oh, right, one thing. Anthony, if you're watching this, Anthony Sarson, this is what actually, Anthony Sarson too, this is what I meant by the little white corner in the Get Object tool. You see the Get Object tool here? If you click right here at the bottom right corner of it, you can switch it to the, actually no, you need to right click it, sorry. You switch it to the Get to Pick List tool. So then if you click an object, it puts it into the pick list that you've currently got open. If you right click it again, then it will work. Actually, you can right click it anywhere, that's right. I thought you, oh, that must have been in sorry. It doesn't matter. Right, if you right click this tool, the one with the little white arrow, you can switch between the two. That's what I meant to say. How about time? When you read stuff wrongly? Yeah. That might be a more elegant way of putting it. I don't want to place too many cattails here because this is a large area and I don't want it to start lagging because of it. Or you can go to Tools, select an area, and also clicking Add Selection. Okay, I'm going to read that properly. Or you can go to Tools, select an area, and also clicking Add Selected Assets to Pick List, to the pick list, and then click. Yes, that is true. But Anthony's problem was that he had accidentally switched the Get Asset tool to the Get to Pick List tool, and he was trying to figure out how to switch it back. And he accidentally switched it back in the stream, which it was good. It was good for the time being, but it's better to know how to do it for when it happens again. Yes. Now, how do the reads look? How do the reads look? They look good. Need a few more in some key places, namely over here. Maybe I won't place them that far away. Cattails, cattails, cattails. Aha, cattails, yes. Isn't there a word, cattail, to cattail something, or am I misremembering that? If so, what does that word mean? Wait, reeds also? Well, aren't cattails a type of reed? I thought cattails are a type of reed. Aren't actually cattails only... no, actually, no, those are the cobs. But cattails, maybe I'm wrong. Also, do you want to hear the clicking again? Because there's a lot of it now. Do you want to hear it? I mean, louder. Oh, as ASMR again. We can hear the clicking. Sorry. There you go. I know that you can already hear it before, but I want you to hear it louder. Ah! Hardcore gaming right there. This is torture. Oh, well, if it's that bad, then I'm going to move it up again. True dedication. Yeah, I think that I've learned the ability to rapidly click from Trainz, mainly from placing trees before I found out that the copy-paste feature was a thing. Which I know I probably would have found out if I had read the manual or maybe something like that, but I didn't. From Eagle? No. The copy-paste feature I said I found out from placing trees. Or did I accidentally say Eagle's name? No, the clicking all the time. Oh, that. All right, because Eagle does that as well. Oh, right, it makes so much more sense now than before. Yes, I get that. I get it. Actually, I can actually click faster, but then I can't turn the mouse or the trackball. So this is the rate at which I can click normally. Now listen to this. Yeah, I have to use my other hand for that. But usually the thumb clicking is sufficient. You can butterfly click usually. Thumb clicking? Yes, if I click with the thumb, which is normally how I click, but to click that fast, I have to use my other hand to click. Yeah. By the way, what do you mean with butterfly clicking? I've never heard that term used before. You click with your thumb? Yes, left click. I left click with my thumb. Don't you? Right click with my little finger, left click with my thumb. Luckily, it's not lagging, which is great news. So let's keep going until it does. I know it might seem like it, but I just want to place them. I just want to place the reeds. Right, so how does that look-ish? I think maybe placing just a few reeds just back there. Just to give the impression that there is actually stuff back there. So it doesn't look as bland. Obviously not going to place as many back there as I do. Butterfly clicking is something from Minecraft, aka using the index and middle finger to click. Never heard that before. How would you... Okay, I think we're talking about different designs of mouse / trackball. When I end the stream, I can show you a picture of my trackball. To left click is to left click that is. Yeah, I gathered. Right, so I'm going to save now. Oh, we've gone 1 minute over. I just quickly want to add some trees just to see what it'll look like. Actually, I'm not going to use the random scenery thing. I want to just, because I don't necessarily want to save it like this, I'm just gonna randomly click like this, because then I can undo this if need be. Maybe some trees, but not these. Oh, right, I need to get a thumbnail. Okay, so here's the schedule. Get a thumbnail. Then show you my trackball. Then do shoutouts. Then mention that the stream will be archived. And then rechat. And then end the stream. And then download it. And then do the tags and stuff. And then well, you probably know how this goes. Right. Actually, I might be able to use a higher field of view here to get the wetlands in the background as well. How does that look? Do you think that's good for a thumbnail? Actually, no, I don't want the little edge of the world back there. So maybe something like this. I usually use index to left click and middle as my right click. Oh, I see. I do have some thumb mouse buttons, but I'm not using them usually. We know the drill. Yeah. I love it. Yes. Great. So then, actually, I'll save this as a screenshot as well, because I want to post it on Discord. Great. So, thank you for posing, Train. Now go back to where you came from. Thank you. No, a bit further, please. Thank you. Just see if the train is actually there. And yes, it is. Great. So, look cinematic. Thank you very much. That is exactly what I wanted. So, exit surveyor, I've already saved. Actually, just to make sure. Absolutely sure. I know I'm going a little bit over time. Oh, wow, already 4 minutes. All right. Quickly. Right. Okay, to speed this up a little bit, I'm going to do shoutouts while I'm looking for the image. So, Slovagigel, he's as part of the Central Europe development team, so have a look at his live streams. He does driving simulators, Trainz building. He's recently started a Japanese high-speed route in Trainz, which is a really interesting thing. Yes. Also, Swedar is also part of the Central Europe development team. Yes, so have a look at this as well. And yes, so is Branded, who is not here at the moment, and some other people as well. Kango Fango, he streams OMSI 2 map building and Trainz map building, so have a look at that. And I found the image. So this is my trackball. You can see I've got the ball in the middle, the scroll wheel around it, left click, right click, and then forward backwards, which only works in some applications. Middle click, both at the same time. So this is my trackball. Yes, so now that that is out of the way, and I've also done the shoutouts. It's time to mention that this stream will be archived, so it will be archived. Thank you very much. Yes. So time to reach chat one last time to reach the huge epic that has become the chat, that chat has become, and then I end the stream. So, oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. Much love. Oh, thank you very much. So, I'm going to sit here in silence for a few moments, just to let people catch up, then I'll end the stream. So, thank you very much for watching, and bye.